Welcome everybody to another episode of the Warmup. You got your very own Miami's very own in the building. I'm Rookie of the Year, Chris, and we have Mr. Clipper. Say what's up to the YouTube fam, guys.
What up? What up?
Yeah, I gotta say, yo, Chris, congratulations to you, man. This is like the first good thing to happen to the Grizzlies since. Yeah, congratulations to you, man. Good job.
I would say something about your team, but you picked them when they were hot, so I don't know what else to say. Let me know you had some tenure on the team though.
I mean, they're not hot now, is they? Are they still your team?
He
Oh
gonna,
yeah, it's still my team.
Okay.
he gonna leave.
They-
He gonna leave with Steph Curry leave.
He waiting it out.
Y'all washed.
Y'all been holding us back this whole time.
Hey, Chris finally happy he got something to talk about, man. He been in the dark years for a minute.
Anyway, this is a show where we talk about sports, politics, black culture, and everything in between. And today we have another round of topics here. We're gonna start off with the NBA teams that got put down. Unfortunately, you know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Memoriam. The Sixers. They got swept.
76ers.
They got swept.
We all trusted the process, and it didn't work. So
The process was a sweet, man. Hey, yo, Miami's very own. I asked Rookie of the Year Chris this, man, and his answer kind of shocked me. It blew my mind. But before I tell you his answer, I want to ask you this. Which one would you keep from the Sixers? Because one got to go.
between Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say, but I keep Embiid.
What's your reason?
Ben Simmons ain't shooting. Gotta shoot, bro. It's the best. It's best. Joel Embiid is shooting. You gotta shoot. You have to. Even if you're not great, if you're wide open, you gotta knock down a couple just to make people keep people honest. You can't just I'm gonna be great in transition. I'm gonna be great at driving, but don't check for me otherwise.
Hey, yo, so your boy Chris, man, he's a process groupie because this joker said get rid of both of them.
How am I a groupie? Hold on. How am I a groupie for saying get rid of both of them?
You're
And
putting
why?
them back in the process.
Huh?
You're going to put them back in the process. You put them back as a lottery team.
The reason I said both of them is because Joel Embiid is talented. And I don't know if it's the coaching or not. It could be the coaching, but I feel like he plays down a lot of his abilities. He doesn't really play to the maximum of his abilities like that I would expect from a franchise or a generational player. He has the potential.
I
But
think
there's
coaching
two
is
things.
more about scheme. I don't think coaching has anything to do with like abilities and effort. I think it's more scheme. Like
I disagree.
coach
No,
said,
I
get
think it's. I
tired
think it's.
of
I think it's. I disagree too. I think it's a whole package.
Yeah. So you have Ben Simmons and you have Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid likes to have fun. He doesn't take it as seriously as you would like. You have Ben Simmons can't hit can't hit anything short of the crowd with his shots. You know what I'm saying? So then you have Brett Brown who doesn't know how to scheme properly. They fired Brett Brown. That's cool. But the question was, who would I get rid of? And I'll get rid of both of them. Trade them while the value is high, and then you can get some serviceable people. Just start fresh, man. Change the culture.
I think so. I can agree with that.
I totally disagree with that, man. I think I love Embiid. I love his Embiid is a personality, man. But if I were the Sixers, I would keep Simmons and trade Embiid. Reason being, Simmons can't hit the blind side of the barn, the wide side of the barn, because he doesn't try. All right, cool. You don't have a jumper. You don't want to try to have a jumper. But the dude is a beast in transition. His defense is impeccable, right? His defense is off the chain. So that's
Lonzo
another.
Ball.
Yeah.
And Lonzo Ball doesn't have Ben Simmons defense. Lonzo Ball
Yeah.
is
Oh, come on now. Lonzo Ball's a great defender, and he's good in transition,
And he can shoot an actual three.
and he can actually shoot.
Anyway,
So going back to the topic at hand, I'm not even acknowledging that.
The only thing I would say is between the two is I feel like Ben Simmons is more aggressive.
he is. I agree with that.
I'm not comparing. I'm not even dealing with that one, man.
But you brought up the compare. Oh no, Chris brought
I
up the
did.
comparison. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I ain't bringing it up. Ben Simmons, man, I would keep him because I think it's easier to build around him. And B, think about the last 5 NBA champions. None of them had a dominant center. I think in this NBA, you need a wing. And Simmons gives you 3/4 of a wing because he doesn't shoot, but he plays defense and he can move the ball. I think you keep him, man. Get rid of Embiid. Get you a wing that can shoot.
Cool, man. All right, man. Well, you really drained all 15 minutes of that conversation. Let's move on to the Blazers.
Blazers, what the Blazers got to do, guys?
Blazers.
Get rid of everybody. Let's go with your philosophy. Get rid of everybody.
Are you for real or you just being bitter?
Get rid of Dame. Get rid of CJ. Let's get some more decent players. So we have a serviceable team. Let's do that.
Yo, why you so salty?
But they got that. They got that right now.
Why you so salty?
I don't understand the difference between them and
who else on the 76ers? Who else is on the 76ers?
Dude, what I'm saying is
Horford? Who else is on the 76ers? Who?
Just
answer the question. You talking about
Tobias
Tobias
Harris.
Harris. Okay.
You got Tobias Harris.
Okay.
Harford, that was a bad deal. I don't know why they did that. And you got who's the point guard they got, man?
Ben Simmons?
That can shoot. Nah.
Stop me, bro. You answering the question right now, man. Yo.
No, they got a new one.
Oh my god.
Yo, you just
don't even edit this
off
out.
The rails, bro.
Don't even edit this out, man. At this point,
because y'all not making sense, man.
I've never known.
You guys are not making sense.
This dude really just believed the Sixers. Like, why are you so salty?
Because I don't understand y'all point. Why get rid of 2 good players when you can get rid of one and rebuild around that one?
But we just told you.
Every team looks for that one player.
But you said we're not telling you, but we told you. You ain't like the answer. You didn't accept the answer. That's fine. But that's the answer. I understand that it don't make sense to you, but you're not a GM. You're a fan. You like, why give up 2 stars? Now you ain't gonna have no stars.
This
it's like
same.
no, but
why not blow up the Portland Trailblazers in?
You got Carmelo Anthony, you got Trevor Ariza, you got Zach Collins, you got Rodney Hood is pretty solid.
You got Nurkic, Hassan.
You got Nurkic, you got Hassan Whiteside. You have a lot of
Lillard.
I wasn't even talking about the 2 superstars. That's already without those 2 as a servable team, and you got the 2 pieces. You had injuries this year with Dame being injured is what I think was what gated him.
Yep.
But the 76ers made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Yeah.
And
they're not a serviceable team. It's just
they also had a different team.
They lost Jimmy.
Philadelphia 76ers also had Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
They also had Robert Covington.
Yeah. that was the service. That was the serviceable. You had Jimmy Butler and Robert Covington.
2 of those type players back.
But hold on. You see what Robert Covington doing right now? Pretty solid. You see what Jimmy Butler's doing right now? It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
And the Sixers
so you lost
diminished.
that. Now what do you have?
So get rid of 1 star and get 2 serviceable players back instead of get rid of both stars to have an average team. Have the Orlando Magic.
They would have made it that year too if it wasn't for what's his face?
Toronto.
Yeah.
Kawhi?
Yeah, Kawhi. Yeah. I would not even Toronto. I mean, not to take anything from Toronto, but it was like that game-winning shot. Like both of them, it was against them and the Bucks. It was just like, what are you gonna do?
You feel better, man? You got it off your chest. You seem like you've.
Hey, y'all go ahead, man. Like I'm just trying to understand y'all logic. Man.
Okay, cool.
Let's take it offline. We'll have a deep dive into it. We'll do it.
This guy. All right, so the Blazers. We ain't even finished. We got 3 more teams left. We got the Blazers, who again did phenomenal. They got into the play-in option. They got into the playoffs. Unfortunately, Dame went down, but they got 1 game from the Lakers, and everyone.
Or Lakers, Clippers,
Lakers.
They played the Lakers. Oh yeah. Now I'm tripping.
Yeah, and then of course, like I said, Dame went down. After that, like that's their guy. If they go as he goes, so. Unfortunately,
and I think that finger affected him a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen plays where he was switching hands, taking the time to switch hands, just didn't make it viable.
Exactly. So
I think Portland needs size.
bigger than who? Bigger than Hassan?
Nah.
I'm
They're
so
too small in the
confused.
backcourt. They're too small in the backcourt, man. Like that's been Portland's issue every time. They put big wings on Dame and CJ, and the offense just stops.
So what you're saying is you should give the ball to Carmelo, put him at the top of the key, and have
Let him do what he do.
yeah. That what you trying to say? Is that what you're getting at?
I'm not saying that, man. I mean, maybe that they can try that wrinkle out. But man.
Here we go. Just to feed your point, go ahead, trade Ben Simmons, and get some serviceable people. Now Ben Simmons runs your offense.
You know what? If Ben Simmons was on Portland, though, I know this goes against my point. I think the Sixers should keep Ben Simmons. But if Simmons was on Portland, that'd be a squad, man. Because you got somebody that can check these big wings. He can do transition. And CJ and Dame got the shooting, man. So that's
not
a bad look.
just one guy. You got one guy who you ain't got to play defense on. All right. That's cool, man. Yeah, what do you guys think? Well, you said Blazers need size. That's fair.
Blazers need size. I mean, the Warriors had a guy you had to play defense on in Draymond, but they still won. It's just a setup, man.
I don't think.
Thank you. Get out of here.
That is absurd. The man was knocking down threes. He was very aggressive. He would take it in and get buckets.
Thank you. This is why I know he didn't really watch the games. He's not even a Warriors fan.
To Chris's point.
Ben Simmons has more points than Draymond. Like, I don't get what you're saying.
Yeah, because he's like this fifth option.
Thank you.
You have Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson. Like, of course, Draymond's like we got averaging 40 points a game. Like,
he gonna average
so how many
7
points
points.
did Draymond get this season when he was the first option?
There was not you could get going. I don't think this was a
wasn't
throwaway
the first
season.
And D'Lo was the first
This
option.
is what you get for doing this damn memoriam. I think the memoriam should be an episode in itself. You know, your goddamn memoriam. now I'm upset. But.
Oh, okay.
Utah Jazz.
Blow it up.
This man just blowing up every team.
You guys want to blow up everything, man.
We said one team.
Utah needs to.
Wait, did we say everything we needed for the Blazers?
No, because we got stuck on him and his.
So what you think they need to do, Chris?
Man,
I really don't know.
They just need they just need to tweak a couple of things. Maybe get like a stronger bench, or
I like that.
Again, have Carmelo actually there, re-sign him, get him in the training camp. You know what I'm saying? Injuries, obviously. It's just things like that. I think they're just small tweaks and stuff. I mean, unfortunately, you're going to be in the West, so it's always going to be stacked and hard. But you have leadership, you have size, you have scoring. Oh, defense. They need to improve their defense. Defense is trash. So that's what it is. You got anything?
I can't think of anything, bro. I think they're always almost there. It's just like, when somebody is just like, it just don't got the special sauce yet. It's something is like, it's there, but something ain't right.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
And the ain't right might just be the time. The timing it wasn't their time.
It could be. So I don't know. I say keep riding with them, man. Just do some tweaks. The Jazz. You want to
blow it up?
You want to
blow it up? Go ahead. Get yours. Do you want to expound on the blow it up?
Commentary on the Blazers, man. They had Gary Trent Jr. checking LeBron because they don't have size in the wings. They get beat up by big wings, but that's it. Let's go to the Jazz.
Defense, yeah. But if you have like a Pat Beverly, though, but if you have Pat Beverly kind of guy, then he can irritate a lot of those players. And Pat Beverly is 6 feet.
Yeah, he's a special type of dude. I think they need some more size. But I mean, let's go on to the Jazz.
Okay, thanks. Jazz. So yeah, I don't know, man.
Don't change a thing, bro.
I don't know.
This shit was tough. It was just tough.
Yeah.
Nuggets were a good team, and they just that finish. It was just like, damn.
Yeah.
They were missing Bogdanovich.
Oh, see, that's another thing. I think they just need some time. I think some experience, because I think if they just tighten up on that end of game sequence, some experience, playoff experience, which they got.
Yeah, I think the most veteran player is Paul Millsap.
Mishaps on
So,
Utah. I mean on Denver.
Is
Paul Millsap is on Denver. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm think so. Yeah, their power forward. Yeah, you're right. Their power forward is Royce O'Neal
Yeah.
again.
I don't even know who that is.
Exactly. So again, they honestly they should probably need some more veteran, like
Sound like they
another
need a
key
new power
veteran.
forward.
He's been there for a minute, man. But I think he's more of a 6 man come off the bench guy, not a starter.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think I love Joe Ingles, man, but this ain't the same Joe that shut down playoff P
Mm.
like 3-4 years ago. He had some open looks and was like bricking them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was a bubble. Bubble does little things to some people. They diminish or they elevate. We either get T.J. Warren or we'll get like playoff P missing in action. So
Could be.
I don't know. All
Thunder,
right,
thunder,
Thunder.
thunder.
Man,
OKC.
I don't know, man. Thunder is a very unique situation. This is the same team organization that guy over there in Brooklyn said he can't win with those cats, and yet, I almost upset Houston, who was a high power offense. So I don't know, man. We got an aging Chris Paul. He's like 35 years old, still running the offense.
Yeah.
He's a vegan though. He's a vegan.
Okay,
What that mean?
That-
That doesn't seem he stayed healthy this season. That's all it. That's all it means to me.
That's what he's saying.
I
That's what he's
mean,
saying.
all right. So you think Chris Paul can like legitimately have 2 more years in him?
Yeah, why
I
not?
think so. 2 years for sure.
His style of play isn't high stress on the body.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
It's like Steve Nash.
yep.
Yeah. His back just messed him up.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man. OKC, the way they went out, it was a blast.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that last play. I know we talked about it before we started recording, man. And what's his name? Dort is it Dort?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Big game, man. Big props to him. He came in and overexceeded, right? I want to know why. I know CP trusted him. I know CP talked to him. There was a lot of pressure in that last shot, and I know Dort had a good look like you said.
Yeah.
But in that fourth quarter, Dort did not want to take a 3. He did not want to take a 3.
Huh?
A lot of pressure. Game
He
7.
got to.
I think CP should have kept the ball.
I mean, I trust CP's vision. So if he saw it, and I think it was a look.
It was the right play. Yeah.
Yeah, James Harden just came and closed out and made a great defensive play.
So
It was the right play. That's a lot of pressure.
I've seen that guy. I've seen Paul George. You've seen games where it's like, oh, that guy had the shot, and then somebody stepped up and made a defensive play. It's a tip the ball with their hand, whatever the case is. Like,
yeah.
it was just a great defensive play. I don't think it's like, CP3 made an error in judgment.
Yeah.
What about after that? The Harden made the defensive play, which I stood up. I was like, wow, I had to rewind that and watch it. Make sure it was Harden, right?
Yeah.
Then he tried to hit the ball. Both of them were inbounds. He tried to throw the ball off of Harden out of bounds. And CP saw it happening. He did call timeout before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think he was panicking. I think he was probably panicking because he knew the time was running out and he was trying to think of a way to stop the time.
Yep.
Which is exactly what a timeout is for.
Yeah. Rookie mistake. That's all. Rookie mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, that was good though. I did enjoy it. I don't know how they're gonna get better. Maybe a good free agent signing. We talked about free agency already. So, if they can give like I don't want to say Oladipo. They already had him. But if you get like a Gordon Hayward, like a good wing player,
that could be a solid addition to the OKC. But let's be honest though, all of us kind of wanted OKC to win, or we was in some way pulling for them to at least just have a really good game because they already made it, force it to 7.
Yeah.
But we ain't expect them to get past. Even if they got past the Rockets, we wasn't expecting them to come out the Western Conference.
You right. That's true.
So they did a really good job. They over exceeded expectations. So.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was gonna be a sweep, and then they came back and won 2 in a row or something. Then it went back and forth from there,
and then it came down to the wire.
Yeah.
So
That's what I like about playoff basketball. It's my favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Thunder have an interesting position though, because they got a lot of draft picks for that trade with Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you maximize CP's like next 2 to 3 years, or do you just aim for the future and build through the draft? Because if you do CP,
bro,
you gotta trade some of those picks.
You
to get
always.
I think you do both. Yeah.
You can do both, but if you had to pick, you always go through the draft. The reason is because the salary and if you can get like
Golden State Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So
that's everybody gets. Oh, they got so much time. They drafted it.
Yeah,
that's how you can have.
Yeah,
that's how they were able to sign a KD. It's like, oh, we have Steph, we got KD, we got Draymond.
They made the money work. So
yeah.
Fuck it.
I mean,
we got some money. What we gonna do?
Or you could be like the 76ers.
Hold on to everything. You got a superstar.
The management just throw them in the ground, man.
Hey,
I don't know, man.
It
Last one. Mavericks.
Mavs.
They need Porzingis, man. What's going on with my boy?
They need Porzingis to get traded.
Wow.
Trade Porzingis. He's injury prone. It's not that he can't play. He just can't last on the court.
You're right.
He's tall. He got injury history, man. Just trade him and get some serviceable people.
Boogie Cousins?
You know what? If I can get Boogie Cousins for a discount, like a bargain rate discount, I would definitely go for that. Because he's going to put up...
Who's the marquee player in that trade though? Because you're getting him at a discount, so that's not the main player you're getting for a trade with Porzingis, I think he's a max player, contract.
But if you can get
Porzingis is a max player contract,
he's close. If he's not,
I think he's getting paid. Well, no, he's only been in the league for what 3-4 years, right?
He got drafted by the Knicks.
He was out for 2 years for injury with the Knicks.
Yeah, so I don't think he's even. I think he's still in his rookie contract. Maybe the team option, maybe the 4th year option. I don't remember though. I could be wrong, but yeah. I mean, I will get. I'm trying to think of some players who probably be a good. Shoot, I hate to say it because I don't think he really shows up big time. But trade with the Spurs, get LA off their hands. What about Blake Griffin though?
I think that's injury for injury.
He's been pretty good lately on the Pistons. He's on the Pistons, right?
Yeah, he's on the Pistons.
He's on the Pistons with D-Rose, I think.
Yeah. He hasn't been
injured. His game has changed a lot though.
He stopped being a high flyer, yeah.
Yeah.
They made the props not last year, but the year before he was injured.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing like on one day. He was out there all hard, but
yeah. I'm just trying to think.
There you have it, man. That's the memorial, man.
Man, I like what Chris said before.
What I
Devin
said?
Booker.
Oh, Devin Booker would be a good look. But
we'll see, man.
We'll see the Mavs. I think also that's another team, just, the experience. Like, he was bubbling last season. Then he got a little bit further this season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Had a tough matchup in the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot going on with the bubble. So, a lot of these teams, too, who knows how the bubble affected them? Might have been helpful, might have been hurtful. Who knows?
I think for some, especially the younger players, it really helped them. But some of the older players, not so much. Like I said, playoff P, he didn't show up. He said he was in a dark space. We've seen TJ Warren come out of nowhere. We've seen even Kawhi. Kawhi's been Kawhi, right? But he hasn't been like elevated Kawhi. He's been
he wasn't Raptors Kawhi.
Exactly. So and like even the Raptors as a team, like they don't really look to. They look like they're being outclassed by the Boston Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, them young cats too. So,
they're young. They don't have the atomic bomb they had last season. So I'm actually impressed with that team.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, let's move on to the next topic here. We heard the news that Steve Nash has become the new head coach for the Brooklyn Nets, 4-year deal. Some people are excited. Some people are surprised.
Yeah.
Other people had things to say and made a interesting notice or observation rather, saying that Steve Nash is a
Has no coaching
reflection.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, is a reflection of what white privilege looks like. Mainly due to the fact that he had no prior coaching history. He gets a head coaching job. There's people out there trying to get a head coaching job who are, black, and who's been serving as assistant coaches for years. So, question: is the hire of Steve Nash a reflection of white privilege? I'll start with you, Mr. Clipper. You have your notes. I can see you looking at your notes.
You know what? I see what you're saying, but you know who it reminds me of? Steve Kerr.
Okay. Is that
So is that an affirmation?
Huh?
So is that like an affirmation, like a pattern, or is it like
No, I want to try to believe that they're shooting in the dark or hoping for like that unicorn coach that has no experience but can relate to the players and win. I think it's a bad decision when you have two supremely good players on your team. You need an experienced coach. And we were talking about this before the shot. What black coach out there is available? Ty Lue did a good job with the Cavaliers, man. It ain't fair, man. Like, you bringing in a rookie coach when you have two like go-getters healing, ready to come in and destroy the NBA next season. This shit got an experienced coach, man, and I don't think Nash is the best qualified for that. So, yeah.
I'll say what it brought to mind for me. It was interesting. You said Steve Kerr. What it brought to mind to me was the same organization. They took Jason Kidd as a head coach when he had no coaching experience. When they just started putting that team together, they named him coach, part owner. So I don't think it's never been done before. Just like you said, Steve Kerr is another example. I don't know if we could say there's no experience. Maybe not formal experience, but I can imagine Jason Kidd, Steve Kerr, and especially Steve Nash were probably, player coaches. They were probably leaders on their team. Like, I could imagine Chris Paul being offered a coaching position if he didn't have experience. Just like seeing, like, I don't know if you could say you don't have experience just because you weren't in an assistant coach or anything like that. There's other ways you can have experience. But with the optics and the climate, I can see why people would say it's white privilege. You got Gentry just got fired. You got Dwayne Casey's available. There's a lot of people who are available that weren't picked for the team, white, black, indifferent. I think even Spurs have a female assistant coach. They didn't tap her for that. So
true. So then let me ask you this, just to kind of play devil's advocate. Do you think that Steve Nash is more qualified of a coach
I don't think he's more qualified than somebody who's actually in a system coaching now. I wouldn't use qualifications like in a formal qualification, but there may be some other intangibles that he has because he's not coached. There might be like, I feel like I'm arguing against myself because this goes to the damn Charles Barkley conversation we had. Charles Barkley opening up a school or whatever. I would not have given him equal. He would have had to impress me in the interview if I were to have picked Steve Nash. If we asked him what would your coaching philosophy be like, he would have really had to impress me for him to get the job.
Okay, because it sounded like what you were saying is you would have took the call.
Yeah, for sure. I took the call.
Nash was like, "Hey man, I want to be a head coach."
I'd have took the call. Well, did he call them or did they call him?
We don't know.
Because I think for people like that, when they just pop up in a position, I think a lot of the times they probably weren't hard in the market, because if they really wanted to be a coach, they would have took an assistant somewhere. So I think a lot of times, like maybe because they continue to be such an influence in the league, because I don't know if you or Curtis were the one mentioning to me that he was actually assisting Steph Curry as a consultant. So maybe through those kind of relationships, continuously being in the league, that people are like, damn, we need a head coach. You know, Steve Nash has been helping all these other teams do X, Y, Z. Let's see if what he could do.
Okay.
So Steve Nash, he's a shooter, like an amazing shooter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Former player, consultant, in the network, right?
But most importantly, a point guard. So
a point guard, I like that.
Yeah, because you have to see the field. You need to understand plays. You run the offense. That's why typically you see Derek Fishers, you see either some kind of guard are usually the ones that head into coaching.
So if there was like another point guard that was a shooter that was in the network and had experience, would they be also equally qualified for the position?
Well, I think we all agreed he's not necessarily qualified in the traditional way. Like I could see Steph Curry being tapped. Maybe, I don't know. Steph's a little different.
Well, no, I'm not talking about current play. I'm talking about a coach now. Like we talked about Sam Cassell.
Or Chauncey Billups. He wants to get into coaching.
Well,
is he assistant coach?
Yeah, but Sam Cassell's, I don't know if Chauncey's a coach now. I know he was supposed to be the GM for Cleveland. But Sam Cassell is getting tutored by Doc Rivers right now. He's been doing that for a couple of years.
That's good.
Point guard, great vision, energy. And was he even interviewed for the job? I don't know.
Yeah. It's a good question.
So let me ask you this then. Do you think that I keep wanting to call him Steve Nash is going to be a good fit for the Nets?
You have no baseline. I don't know.
Because we have no experience to.
I think. Well, I mean, it's also it's going to be fairly of a new situation because a lot of those guys were on the bench for most of the season. KD sat out the whole season. Kyrie was injured for a good portion.
I think KD had a thing to do with it because Nash was there. KD was there with the Warriors. And then think about it. To deal with Kyrie, you need somebody who's even killed. And Nash is like
that's what I was right about to get into. I feel like he has the Woki Musabi kind of spirit to be able to deal with those two.
Okay.
And KD, you know, KD and Kyrie had to sign off on this. Not saying that yes or no, but they had to get the buy-in at least, right?
I feel like it's gonna be very Phil Jackson-ish kind of coaching.
Gotcha.
You're not gonna see him get too stressed or whatever. He's gonna be sitting down, drawing up plays. He's gonna talk to the players. He's not gonna be yelling. He's not gonna be like frantic. Not gonna be snapping clipboards like Steve Kerr.
Okay.
He's just gonna be even keeled.
Okay.
Focused.
I feel you. Cool. Well, yeah, that was the latest and greatest of the news in the sports world. But let's get back to the playoffs here, man. We've been seeing a lot of good action. We've been seeing a lot of calls, non-calls, free throws being the deciding factor of games. And so we have to kind of ask ourselves, the referees have a big part of how the games evolve. So some people say, hey, it's fourth quarter, you don't call it. Some people say, no, be consistent. So context versus consistency. Which would you prefer your referees to fall more in line with? Being consistent, same call, first quarter, last quarter, or context, where it's just like fourth quarter, we don't want to have anything to do with it. Y'all play it out, for example. So, Miami, what you think?
For me, I gotta say consistency all the way. Consistency is key for me. It's not because I can't imagine as a player how frustrating it could be. Because as a fan, when you see something go one way, and the same thing, or to you in your perspective, damn near the same thing in the other direction is a no call. It frustrates me. Or when they miss things or whatever the case is, I think I like consistency. Consistently good too. So let's try and drive it to that sense. I don't want consistently bad where it's just like, oh, they ain't doing nothing right. So
I feel you.
That's how I feel about it.
I feel you. Clip. What you think? Blow the whole thing up.
Hey, that's
Get rid of the rest. Just get rid of the rest.
Man. That's y'all philosophy. No refs. Hey, call your own.
Trade all the refs.
How we grew up, right?
Yep.
Now I feel Miami very on point, man. Like if it's consistent, you know what to do. But I don't like how you crafted context. Like it's fourth quarter, let them go. I don't believe in that. Like it's not the 90s.
Yeah.
But I know we talked about him in the Slack that Gordon Dragic call, man. I think it was on Milton. He came with the 3.
Straight
Gordon,
up.
He was straight up.
His hip was
Middleton saw him out and shot it leaned into him. Gordon did not move.
I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't say Middleton leaned into him.
Gordon didn't move.
He was outside of the verticality, like a little bit. It was really minute. It was petty.
So you think he leaned forward in that?
I think he leaned forward enough to where it would have drawn the attention of the referee. So now they had to make the decision whether they want to call it foul or not.
Middleton was definitely in motion.
But do you feel like it was a natural shooting motion though?
No.
Or you think he did something unnatural?
I think it was not his natural shot, but we see it all the time, and it goes back to your consistency point. When they get the defender in the air, they put their elbows out, they flail like this, and they get the foul call. So,
because I felt like he didn't do any extra on the shot. I felt like it was, I was conflicted on that one. I thought it was a tough call either way.
Yeah.
I usually get very irritated with those kind of calls, but that one, like, I could see why they called it. I don't feel like he did bad defensively.
Yep.
But if they're saying he didn't have the proper space to land, it was real wishy-washy. Yeah, real. Yeah.
Gordon was already in position. And Middleton came to him. There was a play before.
I had to run the tape. Run the tape over this. So we.
If
you can you do that? Can you do this?
We're gonna see.
YouTube go pull it.
It should probably be fine.
Hey, but I agree with the fall on Jimmy Butler, man. Like Giannis knew he messed up. Good defense all the way through, and after the ball left Jimmy's hand, the ball was in the air, and Giannis, for whatever reason, touched him on his side.
I will say this on that one. I feel like usually, I feel like they don't call those. Usually. For whatever reason, to me, it's the same logic. His shooting space was encroached upon. He didn't have a proper chance to land. It wasn't an unnatural motion or whatever the case is. He might have even had contact on the arm as well. They're trying to get that in the replay, but he definitely touched him on the side and didn't properly give him space to land.
Yeah.
So that's why I get confused with the whole thing. I was like, what were you saying, Kurt?
Giannis went past him. It was the hand on the side as he was moving past him.
Yeah, but even going past him and putting the hand on the side, you kind of messed up his natural ability to come back to the ground and
Yeah.
So that's the part that kills me with those kind of calls. It's just like, what do y'all want to do with that?
Yeah.
I understand why we started doing hey, I don't want you kicking out. I don't want you sliding under players and injuring them. I understand why they start getting into that. But I think they need to get some consistency, some clarity, so players know what to do and what not to do. How can you play defense properly? Like, if you're doing perfect, stand up straight, they call it on you. If the other dude is kicking out and you don't call it, it gets very confusing.
Yeah.
What do you think about Chris? What do you think about the end of the Thunder game? I just watched that clip. Who's bringing the ball up, man? I don't know. It was Harden. I think Harden was bringing the ball up. This is the last minute. Chris Paul flopped.
Oh.
Trying to get the ball, and
Steve Adams
flopped. Harden lost the ball. Steven kicked it to CP. CP going down the lane. Harden guarding him flopped. I like that they ain't calling any calls, but to me that's context. Because the two people flopping was CP, who's always baiting the refs, and Harden, who lives off baiting the refs. And that was more context. Because had that happened in the Miami game and the Bucks game, I think they would have called it.
But if they consistently don't give calls to floppers, then I would say, okay, that's good. I don't think it has to be like it's a player contextual things, but I think you can tell like over time, like, okay, this person's kind of flopping, blah, blah, blah. We have the luxury of using cameras in certain kind of in certain situations.
Yeah.
Another call that kind of stood out to me was when Butler was trapped, the one where he threw it under his own basket was drove me crazy. But they fouled the hell out of him on that trap.
Oh, you thought so?
You think
I mean,
so?
it wasn't a thought so. It was a lot of contact. But to me, again, getting back to consistency, usually a trap is like you're actually trying to either force them to do a turnover or you want to stop it anyway.
Yeah.
In that situation, so like it was a win-win for them. They got it worked out for them because they got the turnover in the basket.
Yeah.
But there was definitely a lot of contact.
I'm about to relook at that because my memory, I don't think it was a lot of contact. I think it was at the ball. I don't think they were really fouling him.
Well, whenever you're trapped, there's always contact on the trap.
There's always contact on the trap. So then either you can never trap, or it's almost like if you live in the paint, like if you are Zach Randolph's type of player, you're gonna get fouled every time. Shaq got fouled every time. You can't call it every time someone touches someone. So there is some context in there in the underwriting, in the undercurrent. So I mean, maybe a trap. You're gonna probably touch his arm or whatever, but you're not like pushing him off his spot. You're not doing anything.
There was no put. They didn't push him. They definitely didn't do like any pushing into trying to force him out of bounds. But I mean, a trap is supposed to be you get there, the player can't move, and you have your hands up, to try and prevent him from throwing it, completing a pass.
Yeah, yeah.
What it is now is kind of like you kind of handsy, and it's almost like if you had like you ever seen boxing where it's like outside of the view of the ref, you gonna get a couple licks in type of thing. That's what trapping is.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, but I don't know. It's crazy.
Okay.
I like consistency. It drives me nuts.
So we got consistency. Yeah. Clip, you consistency or context?
I'm context because we just talked about the Houston game, man, and I'm happy that the refs didn't call a foul on CP's flop, even though I wanted him to win, or Harden's flop, because they consistently hunt out fouls.
Yeah, but I mean, you could flop, but like, if we could clearly see there's no foul there, there's like people fall. There's a possibility that you could actually fall in basketball without anybody touching you. It could be a wet spot, whatever the case. I think that goes to like being a good official. You need to realize like you got to read the room, and that
context.
That I don't think there's context. I'm not talking about like, Chris Paul is known to foul. I'm talking about I didn't see contact. I'm not just gonna say because somebody fell, I'm gonna blow a whistle. That's what I mean by read the room. That's not context to me. That's just consistency. It gets to a point where sometimes you'll see players kind of jostling for rebound space, and then maybe one guy falls over, and they just feel like they have to call a foul. They blow a whistle and they figure it out from there.
Yeah,
I don't like that kind of officiating.
Yeah,
you see something, blow the whistle. If you don't try and like call something just to be safe.
Don't call something and then try to figure out
what
the call is.
On the camera, but trying to figure out what the call is. Yeah. That is very irritating.
Okay. So that sounds like consistency. Basically just saying, hey, if you see it, call it. If you don't see it,
exactly.
Don't call it if you don't see it.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
And that's where I think it's fair for players to kind of like, inform, hey, he's doing this thing. So now you can keep an eye out for it and say, okay, he really is doing that thing, or no, you're just being like, you're just complaining for no reason.
Yeah. That's fair. You want to do a little shout out before we...
Hey man, thanks everybody for joining. Black Lives Matter. Hope you guys are enjoying these playoffs. I'm enjoying them too. That's it for me.
Cool. Hey guys, don't forget to follow, subscribe. If you like it, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on the Twitter. This one we kind of like let people know when the new episodes is dropping, and also other nonsensical nonsense. Shout out to Rookie of the Year. Ja Morant. You know what I mean? Like,
congratulations, young man. You did well.
The one first place vote that went to Zion. I don't know who you are, but you're a real suspect. You real suspect out here. We need to go ahead and revoke your voting rights.
He just carried just like a pitiful team just to the playoffs. Almost. shout out to John, man. You deserve better, John. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. Hey, man, you sound like when you trying to recruit him, man. That's a violation. I'm about to go ahead and report you to the NBA. Man.
What is it? Meddling? What they call it?
Tampering.
Tampering. Hey,
yeah,
man.
You a tamperer, bro.
Tamper proof. Oh, do me a favor. In this exit clip, just go ahead and put that Heat anthem.
What's that? What's the Heat anthem?
You feel the heat down in your soul? Just play let the credits just ride out to that.
No, I don't even know that song, man.
You don't know that? Oh, God. Man. We can cut it. I'll play the song.
Heat of the night. You talking about that?
Nah. You know the song. You know the song.
Oh, that's the new Heat anthem.
You know the song.
Of the night. Man, make you sad. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and sign off, man. Until next time, peace.
Peace. Later.